What's up, everybody? Just doing a little update video on my Glock 19 here. I recently put on the Warren Tactical sights, and it's the fiber optic front and plain black rear. And I had replaced these, or I had replaced the Trijicon night sights with this set. And the reason being, I was having a little bit of a problem with, just getting a real nice, clear sight picture with the Trijicons. I mean, I do like them, but, I had a feeling after talking to a few people I know that run these sights, the Warren Tacticals, that they would do the trick for me. And so I just thought I would give you a look at them. Sorry about the glare there. I'm trying to see if I can get that not to happen, but here they are on my Glock 19. I got the red rod in there, obviously, and let's give you a quick look. There's the front sight. It's not focusing, which is not awesome, but there's the front sight, and here's the rear, and this is just the standard plain black rear, and that's what you're looking at for sight picture. And that's, for me, with an astigmatism, that's awesome. I mean, that works really well for me. I put around 100 rounds through it just briefly the other day, just because I was really itching to try them out. And I mean, I could notice a huge difference in my shooting. Honest to God, it was like a huge difference in my target acquisition, and just putting holes on paper where I could almost call them. I was calling shots just because where that red dot was where my shots were going, just about every time. I mean, I'm not an expert shooter by any means, but I mean, you can see here why it's easier to get a more precise shot. I mean, a lot of people use these sights for competition, and there's a reason for that. I mean, you can see how much space is between the front sight post and the side blades of the rear sight there. It's easy to get a little more precision out of these sights, even for a handgun. And it's just, I'm like so happy that I got these. I mean, they're just really, really awesome sights. The Trijicons, like I said, were okay. Nothing against them. Trijicon makes good sights, but they're just a little too, like, the front blade on the Trijicons was a little too thick for my liking, and I wasn't able to focus on the front sight as well with the excuse me, with the Trijicons. I mean, I know a lot of people will say, they don't recommend running fiber optic sights on a carry gun, but this is my everyday carry gun, and I am going to run these fiber optic sights on it. I'm not worried about it. I mean, really, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, worst case, the fiber optic rod in the front snaps and falls out both the front and the back side miraculously somehow, and would remove the red dot from my sight picture, which is really a non-issue if you think about it, because take away that red dot and you still got a front sight post to work off of. And they actually sell this sight set non-fiber optic front with just a straight black front sight post. I mean, if you pull the fiber rod out of there, yeah, there'd be a little bit of a hole through the front sight post, but you could still make it work, unless you're a complete moron. So the whole argument about not running fiber optic sights for your carry gun, I think, is a non-issue. I think it's an invalid argument, personally. I can shoot better with these sights, hands down, than I could with the last set of sights that I had on here. So, I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, I'm going to carry this gun. So, sorry I'm doing this with my phone this time around. My girlfriend's got my camera right now. But, there's not much ambient light in here, so the dot's not like super bright. But out in the daylight, I mean, the dot's super bright. These are, easy to install. I'm lucky that, an acquaintance of mine from one of the gun boards, an AR-15 forum that I'm a member of, had a Glock rear sight pusher that he mailed me to borrow so that I could really, get this rear sight on nice and perfect, which I did, as you can see there, I hope. And he also had the right tool to get the little nut on the inside of the slide to get the front sight off and install this one. And it was easy, easy to do, not a big deal. I wouldn't want to say the hardest part, but the only thing that was a pain in the ass was, getting the fiber rod set in there perfectly. In case you don't know, when you buy these sights, they give you a fiber rod that's about, I don't know, maybe that long, and you have to like use nail clippers or something like that and cut the fiber rod, stick it through one end, cut it, pretty close to size, and then use like a lighter or something else to heat up the ends so it forms like a little bulb so that it like molds to the ends of these, the holes where the rod goes here. And I kind of messed it up the first time around for whatever reason. It just wasn't fitting right, so I was like, you know what, I'll do it again. It also comes with another fiber rod in like a neon green type color. Wasn't too fond of that. I mean, I'd use it if it came down to it. It's not a huge issue, but red's better for me. So yeah, I mean, here's the Warren Tacticals. Warren Tactical fiber optic front, plain rear. It's really badass set of sights. Nicely made. I mean, the only thing I could find wrong with this particular set is there's a little bit of like a nub, not a nub, but like a burr, some kind of like metal finishing flaw, like right on the edge right there. But it's almost, you can barely notice it, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so next time I get out, I'll definitely bring my camera along with, so I can get some some range video footage of me shooting with these. A couple of my buddies that I was shooting with, they tried out the Warren, this Glock with the Warrens on them, and they were raving about them too. So they were a big hit with those guys as well. So yeah, before I ramble on too much longer, here they are, Warren Tactical, fiber optic front, plain rear. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about these sights, I wouldn't hesitate to grab them. I mean, these are, if you have problems with regular style sights or problems with, picking up a front sight clearly or whatever, I mean, this will probably do the trick for you. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you watch this.